All right, Dwayne Nash here. Toxic masculinity is killing the planet. So there's been a study that came out suggesting that the perception of environmentalism as being feminine or weak or less than masculine is what's killing the planet. And you know, I kind of get the gist of what they're saying. However, when you put it in a broader context and take into account the history of the environmental movement and just preservation, I wouldn't say that Theodore Roosevelt, by today's standards, he would be considered toxic, exhibiting features of toxic masculinity. Yet he was a staunch speaker for the environment and conservation and national parks. So more so than toxic masculinity, and everyone's got their opinion on what that actually means. But I get the gist of what is implied with toxic masculinity is when masculine norms are kind of dictated by a pervasive and sometimes antagonistic more that is actually debilitating to the man himself, or to maleness itself. So I don't want to get in the tick and tack of toxic masculinity. What I do want to say is that it's not toxic masculinity that's killing the planet. It is that the environmental movement or conservation ethos has become bipartisan. There was a split. And I would say this split occurred over a couple of decades, starting with, because Nixon signed a lot of legislation, the Environmental Species Act, Clean Air, Clean Water. And then going from Reagan, I think Reagan had a famous quote that once you've seen one redwood tree, you've seen them all. So it was kind of the starting of this shift. And then that culminates in kind of Al Gore and him really being the appointed spokesman for the environment, global warming and whatnot. And that really created the shift that's killing the planet more than toxic masculinity, I would argue. Because there's lots of males on both sides of the aisle agree in preserving land and that we should take care of, we should be stewards of the land. And so that ethos is actually in both sides of the divide, if you will. So what's killing the planet is that it's become a bipartisan issue, environmentalism. And my solution is that the Conservative Party, the Republican Party, should really seize upon the environment and get to it via the avenue of farming and regenerative agriculture, and getting people out of the urban areas back onto the landscape, regenerative permaculture techniques to sequester carbon, and that is the goal of this blog. So I would say it's not toxic masculinity per se. It is that environmentalism has become a partisan issue. And every solution put forth on the liberal side of it, on the liberal divide, has always been top down, more government, more control, more bureaucracy, more government overreach. So how do you expect people of the conservative mindset, Republican mindset, to get on board with environmentalism when every solution put forth has been more top-down control? And so that's why I advocate bottom-up control, bottom-up solution to the issue being centered on the landscape, on farming, to bring back riparian areas that people are invested in protecting, the soil health, the water health, the air quality health, because they themselves are invested in permaculture, and that's the way you really do it. And both sides make some sacrifices, but we maintain a republic, a green new republic, I just got to talk about the Green New Deal because that is in the essence of what conservatives have been saying. Every approach is just horrendous and tyrannical government control from above. And how do you expect conservatives to get on board with this when you're suggesting solutions that are antithetical to their core principles? That's about it. Have a great day.